There are more and more signs that the United States is indeed directly entering the war against Iran. The American president, Donald Trump, has urgently convened the United States National Security Team to discuss the possibility of the United States entering a war with Iran. This happened immediately after his public statements that the leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is an easy target for elimination, and the United States knows perfectly well where he is right now. After saying that the United States fully controls the airspace over Iran, and after demanding, quote, unconditional surrender from Iran. And now Israeli officials are suggesting that the United States could join the war against Iran as early as this evening, June 17th, when this episode is being recorded. Meanwhile, in Washington, it's no secret that Donald Trump is getting closer to the idea of using American military assets to strike Iranian nuclear facilities. The United States military is preparing for the possibility that Trump may decide to order the United States Air Force to at least help refuel Israeli fighter jets as they carry out strikes on Iran. But at the same time, the United States is massively relocating heavy bombers closer to Iran, which obviously are not intended just for simple refueling. At the same time, the Israeli defense minister stated that the country plans to strike very important targets in Tehran. After that, Trump publicly urged Iranians to urgently evacuate from Tehran and stated that Iran had a chance to resolve the issue peacefully, but it did not want to conduct normal negotiations. My name is Alexei Pichi. Let's discuss this topic together. In particular, the latest news regarding the United States entering the war against Iran. But before we start, I ask you to subscribe to this channel, like the video, leave any comment, and be sure to subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pichi News. The link is in this video's description. There we post breaking news as soon as it comes in. So, that was the preamble. Now let's go through everything step by step. Donald Trump made a series of belligerent statements today against Iran and its leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Trump issued a series of warnings to Iran, calling Supreme Leader Khamenei an easy target, and stated that America's patience is running out. Next is a quote from Donald Trump. We know exactly where the so-called Supreme Leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but he is safe there. We are not going to kill him, at least not right now. But we don't want missiles to be fired at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is running out. Obviously, it's really running out. Because already in the next post, consisting of a single line, Donald Trump writes in all caps, unconditional surrender. And here's an interesting point that shows much of Donald Trump's public rhetoric is just a game. The fact is that just over the weekend, sources in the White House stated that United States President Donald Trump opposed Israel's plan to assassinate Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Amid the ongoing waves of retaliatory strikes between Israel and Iran, while the United States President publicly, in private conversations, makes it clear that at this point he prefers not to involve the United States in this war. Over the weekend, a senior American official said that the Israelis already had the opportunity to kill Iran's supreme leader. The United States informed Israel that Trump was against this plan, and the plan was not carried out. They say that Trump is seeking de-escalation, fearing getting bogged down in another war in the Middle East, while closely watching changes in the policy of his Republican Party. Publicly, Trump administration representatives remain open to dialogue despite the escalating conflict. Continuing nuclear negotiations with Iran, I hope that despite the insurmountable difficulties, they will be able to find some kind of peaceful solution. But today, Trump no longer looks like someone who is really seeking a peaceful solution. After that, Trump stated that now the United States has full and absolute control over Iran's airspace. Quote, Iran had good sky surveillance planes and other defensive equipment, and there was a lot of it. But it can't compare to American stuff that was developed, invented, and produced. Nobody does it better than good old United States of America. Well, after Trump's words like that, Israeli officials are already hiding less and less the fact that the United States is already involved. Israel's ambassador to the United States, Yekil Eliter, stated that Israel asked the United States to take an exclusively defensive position amid the conflict with Iran. He responded to Trump's comment about controlling Iran's airspace. Next, Israel's ambassador to the United States was quoted. I'll state the facts. We ask the United States to take a defensive position, and we are full of gratitude and appreciation for the defensive systems that the United States put into action. Missile defense systems like terminal high-altitude area defense have helped save hundreds, maybe thousands of lives over the past 4 days since Iran has been launching ballistic missiles at our population centers. So that's our request, and that's what the United States of America is providing. The Vice President of the United States of America, J.D. Vance, also made a statement. And as he stated, quote, President Donald Trump may at any moment decide that he needs to take further action to stop uranium enrichment in Iran. This decision ultimately belongs to the president. And of course, people are right to be concerned about foreign interference after the last 25 years of idiotic United States foreign policy. But I believe that the president has earned a certain level of trust on this issue. And having seen this personally and up close, I can assure you that he is only interested in using the American military to achieve the goals of the American people. Whatever he does, that's his focus. Well, moving on. J.D. Vance claims that Trump has been remarkably consistent for more than 10 years in saying that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. And he said that the Trump administration insisted on a diplomatic resolution to stop uranium enrichment. End quote. He repeatedly said that this would happen in one of two ways, the easy way or the other way, said Vance. And he added, the president showed remarkable restraint by focusing our military on protecting our soldiers and defending our citizens. After all the public statements, the first genuine warning signs have emerged. According to sources from the White House, the United States Armed Forces are preparing for the possibility that President Donald Trump may decide to order the United States Air Force to help refuel Israeli fighter jets when they attack Iran. This scenario is reportedly one of the reasons why at least 30 American refueling planes have been deployed to the region in the past few days, or, as they're commonly known, aerial tankers. But honestly, such a statement is just a public excuse to somehow explain the truly massive deployment of heavy aircraft directly from the United States to the Middle East region or nearby. Because other sources add that the deployment of aircraft could be an option presented to Trump by the United States Central Command for joint United States and Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. Moreover, United States Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth last weekend ordered Central Command to send additional forces, including the Nimitz aircraft carrier strike group. And now, the most important thing, along with this aircraft carrier group, numerous F-16, F-22 and F-35 fighter jets have been deployed to the region recently. And just yesterday, I showed you this map, which showed the massive movement of United States aerial tankers and cargo planes, which, as you understand, are transporting not only fuel. Moreover, the United States has already established a so-called air bridge for the full integration and support of the Israeli company. So what do we see after more than a day of aircraft transfers? Yes, that very same air bridge between the United States and the Middle East. These are 3 refueling zones on the way to the Middle East. The first zone, of course, will be serviced by aerial tankers based on the east coast of the United States. The second zone will be serviced by about 8 aircraft that have already landed in southern Spain at a base called Maron. Another zone is the base of the vessel in Crete. And so, when we look at this kind of air bridge, we understand that the transfer of aviation is not what Trump and his team are talking about. That is, American tankers are not being deployed just to refuel Israeli aircraft participating in operations against Iran. No, this is a full-fledged air bridge to support United States transport aviation for the mass delivery of weapons to Israel. And it's also assistance in redeploying United States Air Force tactical aviation groups from the continental United States to the Middle East. But it's important to note that right now we see a demonstrative publicity in the creation of this air bridge, which in itself is already a signal to Iran. And after that we get another insider report. Trump is increasingly leaning toward the idea of using American military forces and resources to strike Iranian nuclear facilities, and is losing faith in the idea of a diplomatic solution that could put an end to the escalation of the conflict. Well, after these insider reports, Donald Trump himself says, and I quote, "I'm not in the mood to negotiate with Iran. My goal in Iran is the end, a real end, not a ceasefire or a complete withdrawal, meaning a refusal of any negotiations. So I think that in the next few hours, or at most in the next few days, we will really see the situation come to a head in which the United States may actually enter into an open war against Iran. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like the video if you want to support the work of this channel financially. You can do these by making any donation using the links and details in the description of this video or by using the quick response code on your screen. I would appreciate your support. That's all for now. Take care. Goodbye, everyone.